tray to background color has been changed from the default blue to brownish light color to match the overall theme of the wallpaper. This has been done through the jwm-tray-theme file. So under the theme file, the tray style has changed. The background color. It reflects this color here, and we can just check. We'll just go ahead and highlight that, and then colored palette, and you can see the color palette is the color is same. So that's how that was done. And likewise, the pager color has changed a little bit. So pager styles, the outline, these tiny lines has been changed to the white, and to reflect the active application, this has been changed to the red color. For active foreground has been changed to red color, as you can see here. So that really highlights the active application on a pager. We'll take a look at the .bashrc file. So you'll see that my urxvt prompt is somewhat fancier than default. So that's done through this addition of this code here, which I obtained from a website called Prompt Generator. You can look up that website, and you can pretty much tailor to your liking as far as a prompt is concerned. Predominantly, though, I added many aliases that I use here to make it easy, especially, for example, alias X. So just type in X, and it makes the terminal disappear, as equivalent to exit. So furthermore, I can go ahead and show you .x defaults file, which is mainly used for urxvt configuration. So here urxvt, and we can see that this here we can here this urxvt geometry controls the this first two lines, for example, gives the width and the height, and 700 and 420 has to do with a pixel location of this left upper quad point. So right now we can go ahead and increase the width a tiny bit. So maybe we'll make it a 72. And then likewise, we can go ahead and increase the height. So maybe 20, let's say. And we can go ahead and save it. And then we can ALT tab will close that. We don't need that. And then here we can go ahead and close it, and we'll open it again and see how it's changed. So now it's much more fuller and seems to be about the right size. So that's urxvt configuration is by xdefaults file. Similarly, we'll just go over quickly the jwm-rc personnel file, which is the file that's predominantly used to for key binding. But the first line here, virtual desktop, the height refers to the number of row is 2, default is 1. So I only had 3 when I first started, 3 virtual desktops. But I usually work with 6, and this is how this is done. And you'll see that many of the applications that I use does not have a title and maximize, minimize button and so on. That's because I don't usually, once I get it all set up, I don't usually use the mouse. I find it just much more convenient to go ahead and use the keyboard. For example, if I want to move the window, I say Shift, Control, and M gives me a little arrow, and I just go up on the up arrow and then stop. So likewise, I'll just. So URXVT does not have a title bar, and Rocks also does not have title bar. Dead Beef, which is a music player, does not have the title bar. And here, Genie, you can see, does not have a maximize and minimize button and so on. So that's what that's about. And then key bindings all here. So F12 brings the menu, which I don't usually use because it's mainly a mouse-driven platform, but I rather use the Rofi, which is a control and space bar. So we'll get out of that, and so control and space bar is the Rofi setup. So this is where the Rofi is triggered, and F4 I use to close an application, so that seems to work well for me. And here Super and T brings up URXVT, Super and W brings up browse, triggers browser sh script. We can take a look at the browser.sh script. First line here places the browser in a, although it says 0, it puts it in the first virtual screen desktop here. And likewise, other programs start, so in case of Genie, for example, it starts on a fifth 5. So, and the second line has to do with not allowing another browser to run elsewhere. So, for example, if there is a browser, there's no browser that's running there, and let's go ahead and start browser. So let's go ahead and Super W will start the browser. Now let's say I'm working in another virtual screen, but I need to start the browser again, and if I click on Super W, watch what happens from virtual screen 3. There's already one open in virtual screen 1, so Super W just goes back to virtual screen 1. It will not let me run another browser, so I find that very helpful.